ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్.
Now let us talk about underground stem modifications. Now we studied about the stem modifications are divided into three categories. What are they? Underground stem modifications, aerial stem modifications and subaerial stem modifications. Let us talk about the first one is underground stem modifications. Now in this let us take the first category. Under this is rhizome. So what are the things you have to study under this? So altogether this is further divided into 4 types. Altogether it's further divided into how many types? 4 types. What are they? Let us take the first one is rhizome and the second one is corm and the third one is tuber and the fourth one is bulb. Okay, underground stem modifications are divided into 4 categories. What are they? We can take rhizome, corm, tuber and bulb. Right, I hope you can understand. What is the pronunciation? First one is rhizome. Where do you find? Within the ground, within the soil, at a particular depth of the soil. That's why we say what? Underground stem modifications. So what do you find in this? Not only rhizome, we have second category called corm, then tuber, along with that what we find is bulb. Right. Now let us take the first category as rhizome. Now if you take rhizome, rhizome is horizontally grown underground stem how it grows into the underground. It is nothing but horizontally grown underground stem. Horizontally means like parallel to the level of soil, right? And moreover it is horizontal is important and moreover it is perennial. What is the meaning of perennial? Now generally wherever you get terminologies, for example if you take lifespan of the plants, if you take, generally the plants which are called annuals, where plant survive for 1 year. Whenever plants survive for 1 year, it's called annual. You all know very well. Annual meaning is what? 1 year. When plants survive for 1 year, it's called as what? Annual. Right. Similarly, we have the second category called biennial. So if you take the biennial meaning what here? Lifespan is 2 years. Lifespan is 2 years. What's the meaning of that? Annual means the plant whose lifespan is 1 year. Plant can survive up to 1 year. So what all you can take examples under annuals? You know, rice, wheat, bajra, jowar, sorghum, all that grains whatever we get. You know, in Rabi season, Kharif season, right? 6 months we get the yield. Rice plant you can take generally, for example. You know, Rabi season also we get the rice grains and Rabi and Kharif season, right? So within 1 year as the plant complete the lifespan, this is called as what? Annual plant. Biennial lifespan is 2 years. So if you take beetroot, carrot, these all are nothing but where lifespan is 2 years. Then what is the third category we can write? Perennial. So in this perennial we can write lifespan is more than 2 years. Okay. If the lifespan is more than 2 years, it takes 2 years, it survives more than 2 years, then it is called as what? Perennial. Lifespan is more than 2 years. It's called as what? Perennial. So now what we have written, I repeat again, according to the lifespan of the plants, plants in generally divide into 3 categories. What are they? annuals, biennials and perennials. So, what are nothing but annuals? The plants which survive for 1 year. Rice, wheat, both what you call jowar, bajra, sorghum, all will come. Right. Biennials where the lifespan is 2 years. Beetroot, radish, carrot, all will come. Perennials, lifespan is more than 2 years. Like ginger, rosa, nerium, jasmine, all will come where the plant survives for more than 2 years, maybe up to 5 years or maybe up to 10 years. So, according to the lifespan, we divide the plant into 3 categories, right. Now, here in this case, the rhizome is a perennial, meaning it has lifespan more than 2 years. Now, apart from this, in this case, the stem is dorsiventral. What exactly meaning of dorsiventral? Dorsal side is different from ventral side. What is the meaning of this? Dorsal side is different from ventral side. Now, apart from this, here it contains terminal bud or we call apical bud. The tip it itself is called terminal or apical bud where growth occurs, that we know. Similarly, from the node, what arises? It's called as axillary bud or itself is called as lateral bud. Okay, it contains the node. Node is a place from which what produces is called axillary or lateral bud. From the axillary lateral bud develops and forms what are called as adventitious roots. And these adventitious roots, as they are produced here, now they helps in vegetative propagation. They helps in vegetative propagation. Alright, what is vegetative propagation? In lower classes you studied, right? Any part of the plant, if it is separated from the main plant, wherever you keep in the soil, that develops into a complete organism. So, what do you call that? Vegetative propagation. Growing a new plant from the any part of the plant. What is the plant part we are talking about here? Adventitious roots. What do they do here? Adventitious roots helps in vegetative propagation, right. Next, then from the on the node if you look at, even we find what are called as scale leaves. Okay, from the node I will show you in the diagram everything, don't need to worry. Where node is present, on the node what are present, and when you look at carefully the rhizome part, very interestingly you can notice all the things. On the node you can see what are called as scale leaves. So, these scale leaves they will become fleshy and stores food materials. Fleshy and stores food materials. So, as this is present in the underground, this is called as rhizome. Now, let us come to the picture. What you can do is, right, guys, look back here. Nothing, what you have to do is, what I thought of getting it is nothing but ginger, but it's okay. But if you most commonly in everybody's house we find the ginger. Now take the ginger in your hand, observe carefully the parts what I am going to tell you now. Okay, so I am just drawing here. Let us say so, what I have drawn here, it is nothing but ginger. What is the first one I said? It grows horizontally. Whenever it is placed in the soil, it grows horizontally, very parallel to the soil layer. Okay, it grows horizontally, parallel to the soil layer. Dorsal side is different. ventral side is different. So we discussed dorsoventral. Dorsal side is different, ventral side is different. Horizontally grown, underground. Then what is perennial? You all understood that it has lifespan more than 2 years. Then come down to the point. What is the point we studied? In the structure if you look at, we have to start with terminal or apical bud. Now if you look at on the tip you can see the place where ginger grows. Where the ginger grows horizontally. Now this tip is called apical bud or itself is called terminal bud. Why? Because the growth occurs in a horizontal direction, starts growing like this. The growth occurs like this. The growth occurs the place where which place? The place where growth occurs, it's called apical bud or terminal bud, right? Then what is the next thing we have? Node. Where is that node is present? See here, this is called node. This is called node. So I will write here, this is what is called as node. I will write here, this is node. We already discussed, right? On the stem, the place where leaf arises, it's called node. You remember, now we are discussing stem. Of course, the stem where it is present? In the underground, right? The stem is present in the underground. Now this part is called as what? Node. Node contains what? Node contains, see if you observe ginger, you can see very clearly lines. Now these lines are nothing but reduced scale leaves. These lines are nothing but what? Reduced scale leaves. Simply you take the ginger into your hand. See the terminal tip, okay, this is nothing but apical bud or terminal bud, and the place where you can see the lines itself is called the node. Node contains, what are these? They are reduced scale leaves because stem is not aerial, stem is in underground, so the leaves are reduced. So what you can find is reduced scale leaves. These scale leaves, they store food material. So here node contains, what is the point you have to note down? Node contains scale leaves. What is the function of scale leaves? The scale leaves becomes fleshy and stores food material. So it stores all the food material. That's why it's called underground stem, right? So here this is node, you find scale leaves here, this is what also node, so you find scale leaves. So the place from where you find the node, there you can see the formation of scale leaves, right. Next is laterally, what you can see, axillary or lateral bud. Let us imagine here itself you can call this as axillary, okay, axillary or itself is called lateral bud. Not all from nodes, not from all nodes, only from few nodes you can see formation of the bud. That bud itself is called axillary bud or lateral bud. Now this axillary bud is involved in the formation of the roots. Okay, this involved in the formation of the roots. Now these roots are called adventitious roots. Okay. These roots are called as what? Adventitious roots. Where they arises? They arise from axillary bud or lateral bud. What arises? Adventitious roots. If you take the ginger, you can see some hair like brown color roots, right? They are nothing but what are called adventitious roots. Now wherever adventitious roots are there, if you cut this part, okay, in the ginger, if you cut this part, if you place it in the soil, again new plant arises. That's nothing but what we call vegetative propagation. So this is nothing but totally what we call ginger. This is a node, these are the scale leaves, this is axillary or lateral bud which gives rise to adventitious roots, and what you find here apical or terminal bud, right. Let us take examples. What are the examples of this rhizome? Very important. Guys, examples are very important. Okay, so wherever I keep 3 star marks, you need to notify that they are very important. So what are the examples? We can say scientific name and common name. We say Gingiber officinalis. This is commonly called ginger. So you can take ginger. This is the structure what I have drawn is nothing but ginger. Ginger is the common name. What is the scientific name for ginger? Ginger is called Gingiber officinalis. It's called Gingiber officinalis. Similarly, other example, very important, Curcuma longa. What is the other example? Curcuma longa. It's nothing but turmeric. It's nothing but what? Turmeric. Turmeric means haldi. You know, pasupu, right? Turmeric. Turmeric, the scientific name is Curcuma longa. Then we also can write other very important example. Musa paradisiaca. It's commonly called as banana. 3 examples what we discussed here are very important. So what are they? Gingiber officinalis, commonly called ginger. Curcuma longa, commonly called turmeric, right? And Musa paradisiaca, generally we call Musa, the scientific common name is banana. So this is the very first one category called rhizome. So I repeat again, in underground stem modification, stem grows in the underground and do some function called storage here. So in that first category what we are discussing is rhizome. Rhizome is dorsal side is present, ventral side is present, right? And then horizontally grown underground stem, it grows horizontally. Then perennial, perennial means it has more than 2 years of lifespan. What is perennial? More than 2 years of lifespan. That means ginger occurs or survives for more than 2 years. It contains terminal or apical bud where growth occurs. It has a node. Node contains what? Scale leaves. Scale leaves becomes fleshy and stores food material. Similarly, from the node of some places, what develops is called axillary or lateral bud. That produces, axillary bud produces what? That produces adventitious roots, and these adventitious roots helps in vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation? Any part of the plant, if you cut it and place it into the soil, that develops into a new plant. So these are nothing but adventitious roots, right? So coming to this adventitious roots helps in vegetative propagation means, see, look at here, this is a ginger. What you find here, it's called node. Node contain reduced leaves called scale leaves. Scale leaves becomes fleshy and stores food materials. And then lateral side you find what is called axillary or lateral bud, from which what produced are called adventitious roots. Now if you cut this particular part and keep it in the soil, definitely there is a formation of new plant. So we say adventitious roots helps in vegetative propagation. So here terminal bud is there, and this is what total structure of ginger. Take the examples, very important. Gingiber officinalis, commonly called ginger. Curcuma longa, commonly called turmeric. Musa paradisiaca, commonly called banana. Right. So guys, what we have to discuss now, under underground stem modifications we have discussed. Very first one is rhizome. Now what is the second category we have to discuss? We have to discuss what is called as corm. So I will write again here. The second category what we have to discuss is called corm. Now what is this corm? This corm is nothing but it is vertically grown underground stem. What is rhizome? Horizontally grown underground stem. What is comb here? It grows vertically down, penetrates into the deeper and deeper layers of the soil. It grows vertically downward direction, right? And this comb, if you look at, now here also it contain what are called adventitious roots. These adventitious roots, what are present in the comb, remember the point is very important, I am keeping 3 star marks here, very important. These adventitious roots what we find here, they are called pull roots or also called as contractile roots. Okay, they are also called as what? They pull the comb in downward direction. Contractile, they make the root to penetrate and pull the underground stem into the deeper and deeper layers of soil. Contractile roots are also called pull roots. They are basically nothing but what? They are nothing but adventitious roots. Okay, so here if you look at the diagram, first initially I will try to give the diagram. So if you look at, so this is a vertically comb you can take. So this goes down. Vertically it goes down and down. So this is what adventitious roots. Here it forms even daughter comb. It laterally it even can form what is called daughter comb. So here you can see the scale leaves are there as usual. The leaves are reduced and form what are called lines, and these lines are called scale leaves, and here that laterally the axillary bud. What you can see here is axillary bud or lateral bud. Where apical bud or terminal bud is there? The tip where growth occurs, obviously what you find? Terminal bud. So here this is the tip. What you find at the tip? So automatically we will try to see where is the terminal point where growth occurs. What is the lateral side where it elongated diameter. So here this is nothing but terminal or we call apical bud. Alright. So here this is terminal or apical bud. Axillary bud, lateral bud elongate and form what is called as, this is called daughter comb. What is produced here? This is called daughter comb. What's the meaning of daughter comb here? In this case, axillary bud, lateral bud grow laterally. After growing downward direction, it grows vertically no doubt, but after growing vertically downward direction, it starts growing laterally. Laterally what it forms? It forms another comb. So this is smaller in size. The young bud what produced here itself is called as daughter comb. Alright, I hope you got the point, right? Axillary bud, lateral bud gives rise to daughter comb. Apical bud or terminal bud we find. On either side of this you can see formation of what are called as adventitious roots. Now these adventitious roots pull in downward direction. That's why they are called as pull roots or also called contractile roots. They are nothing but what? Adventitious roots. If you want, I will write again. Pull roots or they are also called as contractile roots. So see the differences guys. Rhizome we simply call adventitious roots, but in comb adventitious roots are also called as pull roots, are also called as what? Contractile roots. Yes or no? Adventitious roots they are also called pull roots or contractile roots. In rhizome they are simply called adventitious roots. In rhizome the stem grows horizontally parallel to the soil. In comb stem grows vertically downward direction. Right. Now apart from this, now if you look at in this case same these are nothing but these are called scale leaves, no doubt. These are called scale leaves. They arise from the point where they arise, it's called node. All other points are same. Okay, let us talk about here examples. The questions we get on examples. Whenever you get the question that this is a question, very important question. What kind of questions are expected on COM? Here we have to look for very important questions are there, means very important points are there that we get it in the form of a questions. So, what are the expected questions on COM? What are the very important points on COM? So, whenever you get the question, here I wrote question, so sometimes you will get the question that which is the largest apical bird or largest apical bird is found in the following plant or in the following category. Then you have to look for the option that itself is example. It is called Amorphophallus. Okay, this is commonly called Zemincant. Okay, right. So, largest apical bud, got it, largest apical bud, that itself is called as what? Amorphophallus. Largest apical bud, that itself is called as Amorphophallus. So, whenever you get the question that which is the largest bird, where the largest bird is found in, then you find in case of Amorphophallus. So, here you find a largest apical bud, very important. Where do you find? I will repeat the pronunciation, listen the example carefully. Very important question. What is that? Amorphophallus. I repeat, Amorphophallus. It is commonly called Zemincant. Sometimes Amorphophallus option may not be there in the multiple choice questions. Okay, guys, in NEET we get multiple choice questions. Okay, the question will be given, for that 4 options are there. The guy or the girl, whoever studies very seriously, the boy or the girl, who study and understand each and every part with a lot of concentration, with full of preparation, who practices number of times, who will remember all the examples, for them the NEET question paper will become the most easiest one. If they can follow the classes carefully with a lot of concentration, with full concentration, here we will tell you all from where is the place you will get the question. This is the place where you get the question. So, question getting points, question getting concepts we are notifying with 3 star marks. Right. So, those who follow very seriously the classes, those who listen to the classes very well, who understand, who listen, who practices number of times, who learn and keep it in their little mind for number of times if they recollect and revise in their young mind, a NEET question paper, it is the most easiest one. So, after you come back to the college or to the classes, very easy to get highest score in weekend exams, then your confidence rises. So, that indicates your perfect preparation of the concept, that you are thorough with the concept, right. So, Amorphophallus, it is commonly called Zemincant. What you find? Largest apical bud. So, the concept is very easy. Guys, you take one white paper, I told you to keep one notebook, right? In that start writing one after the other all subheadings, go through the concept. The day when you listen the video class, on the same day you try to complete your preparation, because that becomes very little concept. If you are thorough with the little concept, you can understand very well the upcoming classes. Okay, and if you are thorough with them, they all are nothing but bases, then you can do much more and you can prove yourself what you are to your world, right. So, this is a place where you can get a good score or highest score you will get with the high rise of confidence, provided if you follow each and every line, each and every word so thoroughly. So, why am I stressing this so much at this point of time? Because we are letting you know the place where the questions will come. Okay, this is a very important question. Sometimes what happens is, in the given options, Amorphophallus option won't be there. Then no need to worry for that. If this is not the option, then we have another example. So, that is Colocasia. Because in Colocasia also you find second largest apical bud. That means in both cases apical bud is very larger in size. So if Amorphophallus wasn't there, then definitely you can take the option as Colocasia. Very very important. I repeat the question again. Where do you find largest apical bud means? Very important question. Remember and note down. Thoroughly you remember. The first option is Amorphophallus. If it is common name, what is common name? That is Zamin Khan. Even if that was not there, look for the option Colocasia. Amorphophallus, Colocasia, both are examples for corm. Got it? So I repeat again, corm is vertically growing underground stem and it contains what? Adventitious roots. These are nothing but adventitious roots. So these adventitious roots, no doubt they arises from axillary bud or lateral bud, no doubt that. Right, and but these roots will pull the corm to grow vertically down. Adventitious roots are also called pull roots, or also called contractile roots. They are absent in rhizome, the previous one, but present in corm. Right, and largest typical bud is Amorphophallus Zamin Khan and the other one is Colocasia. Now if you look at the compound, here node is present. On the node you find reduced scale leaves. And here you can see the formation of daughter corm and pull roots, contractile roots are there, and you can find largest terminal or apical bud. Now let us go to the next category. What is the next category we can take? Stem tuber. What is the next category we can take? We can take next stem tuber. So what do you find in stem tuber? I will give you first the diagram, because this is very, for most of them, it is a favorite one. What I am drawing? Potato. So here, if you observe the potato here, uppermost layer, there will be brown color layer. The uppermost brown layer, it is called tunica. The brown covering layer. The brown covering layer, it is called tunica. What I am drawing here? I am drawing potato. Potato is a good example for stem tuber. And in this case, if you observe here, it stores the food material starch. What is the food material it stores? It stores the food material called starch. In potato, we find reserve food material is starch. Then what else you can observe on potato? Simply you take the potato into your hand, observe what you can look for on potato. On the potato, you can see some structures like this. So these are called node, and surrounding the node, you can see an arc-like structure, that is called eye. Okay, you can see the node, on surrounding to the node, you can see an arc-like structure. It looks like an eye, that is why simply we call eye. In some cases, from the eye, you can see development of white color bud. This is called adventitious bud. Sometimes you can, if you keep the potato like that, you can see sometimes from the eye, you can see the formation of white color buds. Yes or no? So this white color bud is called as what? Adventitious bud. When I talk adventitious, maybe you might be thinking adventitious roots. I am writing adventitious bud. Then where are adventitious roots? Very very important point in this case is, make sure that you remember adventitious roots are absent. Adventitious roots are completely absent. Adventitious roots are totally absent. Very 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 important. Let us take examples. So you can take Solanum Tuberosum. Okay, I am writing complete scientific name, Solanum Tuberosum. It is nothing but. So what are the examples here? Solanum Tuberosum. Solanum Tuberosum is nothing but what? Potato. Solanum Tuberosum is nothing but potato. So similarly, I'll write another example. Helianthus tuberosum. Helianthus tuberosum. Then this is Solanum stores what? Solanum is nothing but what? Potato. Potato stores what? It stores starch. Okay, it stores the reserve food material as what? Starch. Elianthus tuberosum, it stores inulin. It stores what? Inulin. Guys, did you remember long back, if you remember the note points, I am writing very important note points. What are the important note points? In roots, did you remember dahlia? In dahlia, what did you study? The reserve food material is inulin. The sugar what it stores is nothing but inulin. Did you remember? And you can also find in case of Helianthus. Helianthus means here it's sunflower. Helianthus means the common name is sunflower. In Helianthus also the sugar what it stores is in the form of inulin. See that how nicely it is very important. In roots you studied dahlia. Dahlia stores inulin. In Helianthus also we find inulin. So Helianthus tuberosum stores the food inulin. Similarly, Stachys tubifera. Stachys tubifera. Stachys tubifera, it stores. Better on the arrow mark you can write. It stores. Solanum stores what? Starch, potato. Helianthus stores what? Inulin. Stachys tubifera is one more example. It stores stachys. It stores what is called as stachys. So, these all are nothing but sugars. I repeat again. Stem tuber. What is the best example for stem tuber? Potato. What is the scientific name for potato? Solanum tuberosum. It is commonly called potato. What is the reserve food material it stores? It stores starch. Right. Similarly, Helianthus tuberosum. What the sugar it stores? Inulin. If you recollect it back, in root modifications you studied dahlia. Dahlia also stores inulin. Important note point. Helianthus stores stem modifications, tuber. That also stores inulin. Very, very important. Common points you need to recollect it and put them under note points. Very, very important points. And Stachys tubifera stores a sugar called stachys. Now take the potato into your hand. Potato is being surrounded by a brown color layer called tunica. A brown covering layer is called tunica. Inside you find starch is there and a point is there here, it's called node. Node is surrounded by a arc-like structure what you find, it's called eye. Eye is there. Some cases where if you keep it for sprouting, if you keep the potato like that only without any disturbance, then from that eye, from the node, you can see development of adventitious bud. So, the adventitious bud is present here, but adventitious roots are absent. This is a very important question. What is the question you can explain? In which underground stem modification adventitious roots are absent? Because in remaining all adventitious roots are present. Only in case of stem tuber adventitious roots are absent. Then you have to choose any one of the example. Then this adventitious bud helps in vegetative propagation. It helps in vegetative propagation. So, you studied what is vegetative propagation. If you cut this white bud what you can see called adventitious bud. If you cut this adventitious bud and if you keep it in the soil, from that next new plant will grow and that also becomes a potato plant. So, what is vegetative propagation? Any part of the plant, if that is involved in formation of completely a new organism itself is called vegetative propagation. See the places where vegetative propagation is there. In case of rhizome, adventitious roots helps in vegetative propagation. In case of corm, even here adventitious roots or pull roots involved in vegetative propagation. So, you can write here even pull roots, contractile roots involved in vegetative propagation. Right, corm, adventitious roots gives pull roots or contractile roots, that gives vegetative propagation. In stem tuber, who is involved in vegetative propagation? Adventitious bud is involved in vegetative propagation. So remember, first one we discussed is rhizome, next one we discussed is corm, and the third one we discussed is nothing but stem tuber, and we are left with continue with the fourth one called bulb. So come to the table 1. We study about scientist name and discovery, right? Add some 2 scientist name and discoveries over there. So here the scientist name and I am writing discovery here. Okay, scientist name and discovery. Let us talk about nephew grew. Nephew grew is the name of the scientist who studied about plant tissues. Who studied about plant tissue. Who is a scientist who studied about plant tissues? Nephew grew. Similarly, another scientist, Marcello Malfigi. Who is another scientist? Marcello Malfigi studied about animal tissues. Studied about animal tissues. I have given 2 scientists name. I look at here once again. Nephew grew studied about plant tissues, and another scientist, Marcello Malfigi, studied about animal tissues. And these 2 scientists, they laid foundation for. They studied and the description was made them to reveal the branch of science called anatomy. What is anatomy? Study of internal structures. What is anatomy? Study of internal structure. So who contributed for development of anatomy branch? You know, in biology so many branches are there. Nephew grew and Marcello Malfigi, both of them laid foundation for the development of the one of the branch of life science is anatomy. What is anatomy? Study of internal structures.